Hello everybody, Sarbitten here, and welcome back to another exam practice video in which we will be looking at some further computation questions. So let's head straight into it. Let's not waste any more time. So this question says, by rounding each number in the expression below to one significant figure, estimate the value of, so we want to estimate the value of this. So what we want to do first, we have the square root of 108 all divided by 19.72 plus 5.296. So let's round off everything to one significant figure. So this will actually become the square root of, instead of 108, we'll have 100 because 108 to one significant figure, count the first non-zero would be 1. The number after that is 0, so we leave it as it is and we put 0 in place of all the other numbers. So we have 100, and this will be divided by 19.72 to one significant figure. So we count 1, and the 9 is 5 and more, so we add 1 to the previous one, so this will become 2, and we add 0, so this will become 20, plus 5.296 to one significant figure will just be 5. So this will be, when we square root 100, we will get 10 divided by 20 plus 5 would be 25. And we can break this down. 10 divided by 5 would be 2, and 25 divided by the same 5 would be 5. So we'll have 2 over 5 as the answer. When we round everything off to one significant figure, this will be the estimated value. So let's carry on. Find the exact value of, and you have 3 and 3 over 8 divided by 5 over 12 plus 1 over 3. So we want the denominator to use a calculator, so we must work this out. So bod mass say we work out the bracket first. So we work out the bracket, so let's see what's going on in this bracket here. So we have 5 over 12 plus 1 over 3. So the LCM of 12 and 3 will be 12. So 12 divided by 12 is 1. So you multiply that answer by the top here. So 5 times 1 is 5 plus 12 divided by 3 would be 4. We multiply that answer by the top here, 4. Hence this will be 9 over 12. 5 plus 4 is 9. And we can break this down further. 9 divided by 3 would be 3. 12 divided by 3 would be 4. So it's 3 over 4. So now we have this here divided by 3 over 4. So we can change this to an improper one time. So 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 3 would be 27 over 8 divided by 3 over 4. So we keep change and flip. So we keep the 27 over 8. We change to a multiplication sign and we flip. This will be 4 over 3. So we can simply cancel out here. So 3 1s 3. 3 into 27 is 9, and 4 1s 4, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we'll have 9 times 1 would be 9 over 2 times 1 would be 2. And we know this can be broken down to, because they want the answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So 2 can go into 9 4 times, and we're left with 1 over 2 as the answer for 3 marks. A lot of marks here for this question, a lot of easy giveaway marks. So we want to check to make sure we have all of our marks. So we punch this in our calculator to see if we'll get 4 and 1 over 2. So we'll press 3 and 3 over 8 divided by, and then we'll open our brackets, 5 over 12 plus 1 over 3. And then we close the bracket and press equal. We will get 4 and 1 over 2. So we can leave the exam knowing that we have all of these marks. So let's go. Next question. So the question says, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of available seats in the hall was reduced from 125 to 93. Calculate the percentage decrease in the number of available seats. So first of all, we can see that the seats decreased from 125 to 93. So we subtract this to get the number of seats that decreased. So 125 minus 93 would give us 32. So to find the percentage of decrease would be 32 over the initial seats that we had at first, which is 125 multiplied by 100. So 25 divided by 125 would be 5. 100 divided by 25 would be 4. So we have 32 times 4 would give you 128 divided by 5 would give us 25.6. So the percentage decrease in the number of seats would be, so therefore the percentage decrease 25.6. So 25.6. So we want to be careful. What we put in is 32 over. So we cannot put the 32 over the 93 because that is the final number of seats. That is what the seats that we have now. We have to put the 32 over the thing that we started out with, the number of seats that we started out with, and that will give you how much it decreased by. So that is it for that question. So let's move on. The next question says, find the exact value of, and we have an expression here. So let's look at what BOD mass is. So BOD mass So here's the thing, what we can actually do, we can actually put these in brackets. We can work out what is going on here, and then work out what is going on here, and then we subtract the two answers. So we can put them in brackets and just put the subtraction sign between the two brackets. So let's work out what is going on in this bracket. So 5/6 plus 2/3. So the LCM there would be 6. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. We multiply that answer there. So 5 times 1 is 5 plus 6 divided by 3 is 2. We multiply that answer there. So 2 times 2 is 4. And 5 plus 4 would be 9/6. And this will subtract. So we can work out what is going on in this bracket. So we can do some cancelling out. 3 into 9 would be 3. And 12 divided by 3 would be 4. And 7 divided by 35 would be 5. So we have 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 3 is 15. So this will subtract 4/15. So 9/6 subtract 4/15. So the LCM between 6 and 15 would be 30. 15 times 2 is 30. 6 times 5 would be 30. So the LCM is 30. So 30 divided by 6 would be 5. So we multiply that answer there. 9 times 5. 9 times 5 would be 45. Subtract 15 into 30 would be 2. We multiply that answer there. 4 times 2 is 8. So 45 subtract 8 would give us 37/30. And we see this can be broken down further into 30 can go into 37 one time, and we're left with 7/30 as the answer. So what we want to do, we want to double check to make sure we have all of our marks here so we can punch this exactly as they give us into our calculator. So we'll have 5/6 plus 2/3 minus 12/35 multiplied by 7/9 equal, and we'll have 1 and 7/30. We have all of our marks, and that is what you want to do with these kind of questions. Check back. So let's carry on a bit further. So it says calculate the value of square root of 1 minus cos 37 squared, correct to 3 significant figures. So let's work that out as it is. So let's punch this in our calculator. So we'll have the square root of. So here's the thing. We have 1 minus cos 37 all over the square root sign. So what we'll do, we'll open a bracket by the square root sign, and then we press the 1, and then we press the subtraction sign, and then we'll open another bracket, and we put cos 37, and we close that bracket, and then we square that bracket, and then we close the initial bracket that we open. And this will equal to, and we work this out, we'll get 0.60185.023, and they want this answer correct to 3 decimal places. So we count 1, 2, 3. So 8 is 5 and more, so this will be 0.602 to 3 decimal places. And that is how we get that answer. So let's double check this answer. Let's do it piece by piece to see if the way that we plugged it in the calculator is the correct way. So let's leave the square root for last. So square root, so we'll have 1 and we subtract. So we'll press cos 37 and that will give you an answer. Then we'll square that answer. So we'll have 0.637818, and then we'll have 1, well, this will be 77. So 1 subtract that answer, and we'll end up with the square root of 0.36218. So, and then we'll take the square root now of that answer, and we'll end up with the same answer, 0.601815, and so on. So all we need to do is just to be careful when we are putting these kind of questions into our calculators. We want to make sure that it reflects exactly what is going on. So remember, the square root is over everything. So we must put everything in the bracket under the square root sign. You must put everything in a bracket. So that will indicate to your calculator that all of this come under the square root sign. So just be careful with that. So our answer is correct. So this is our double checking. So let's move on now. Next question. Next question says, write in standard form. So you want to write 0.00527 in standard form. So we have 0.00527. So what we want to do, we want to move this decimal point and put it between the first two non-zero value. So we'll jump 1, 2, 3. The first two non-zero value, the number has to be greater than 1 but less than 10. So you see 5.27 is greater than 1 but less than 10. Cannot put it between the 2 and the 7 because we'll end up with 52.7, and that is not less than 10. So just be careful with that. So you'll have 5.27 multiplied by 10. You're always multiplying by 10. Now the original number that we started out with is less than 1. So that means our power has to be negative. So 1, 2, 3. So if we move 3 times, so this will be 10 raised to the negative 3 powers. And the thing is, you can actually punch this back in your calculator and you'll get back the original answer. And that's how you can check. So let's carry on. So this question says, a 2-story car park has a total of 1,020 parking spaces. At 6:30 hours one morning, 1/30 of the 1,020 spaces are filled. During the next hour, no car left the park, but another 4/5 of the 1,020 spaces are filled. Determine the number of parking spaces that are not filled at 7:30 hours. So let's go. We need to find some fractions of some numbers here. So we saw that in total we have 1,020 parking spaces, and at 7:30 one morning, 1/30 of the 1,020 spaces are filled. So this would be 1/30 of 1,020. So we multiply this by 1,020. So that will give us this 0 cancelled with that 0. And we now end up with 102 divided by 3, which will give us 34. So 34 cars are currently in the parking space. Then we saw that in the next hour, during the next hour, no car left, and then another 4/15 of the 1,020 spaces are filled. So we'll simply now find 4/15 multiplied by 1,020. So we work this out, we'll have 4 times 1,020 divided by 15. That would give us 272. So let's put a box around that. And so the total number of spaces that are taken up would be 34 plus 272, which will give us 306 spaces are taken up. So determine the number of parking spaces that are not filled. So we'll just subtract the 1,020. We subtract the 306 from that, and we'll end up with 714. So we can say, therefore, at 7:30 hours, 714 spaces are not filled. So there's another way we could have approached this question. We could have simply added the number with the 130 and the 4/15. So this will be 1/30 plus 4/15. So this will be 1/30 plus, this is the same as 8/30, which will give us 9/30. So 9/30 spaces are filled. So if 9/30 spaces are filled, that means 21/30 spaces are empty. So we multiply this by the 1,020. So we multiply 21 times 1,020. And then we divide that by 30, and we will get back the same 714. So that is another way in which we could have approached this question and get the same answer. So let's look at the next part of this question. So it says, of the 1,020 parking spaces, 20% are on the top level. How many parking spaces are on the top level? So we see that 20% are on the top level. So 20%, so this will be 20/100 multiplied by the 1,020. So this 0 will go with that 0. This 0 cancels with that 0. So 2 times 102 will give us 204. So we can say, therefore, 204 parking spaces are on the top level. All right, just find 20% of the 1,020, and then that would give us the amount of parking spaces on the top level. Next question says, so some spaces are reserved for monthly paying customers. The ratio of reserved spaces to non-reserved is 5:7. Calculate the number of reserved parking spaces. So we see that the total number of spaces would be 1,020. So you have 1,020 spaces, and of this 1,020, the ratio of reserved spaces to non-reserved would be 5:7. The most important thing when dealing with ratio is to find the value of one share. So we must find the value of one share. So we can say the total shares would be equal to 5 plus 7. So 5 plus 7 is 12. So the total shares is 12. So one share is equal to 1,020 all divided by 12. So 1,020 divided by 12 would be 85. So one share has 85. So to calculate the number of non-reserve, so non-reserve has a share of 7. So non-reserve would be equal to 7 multiplied by 85. So this will give us 595. So to answer the question, you can say, therefore, number of non-reserved parking spaces will be 595. And that would be the answer for this question. And remember, for ratio, the most important thing is to find the value of one share. So with that, this has brought me to the end of this video. And this has brought me to the end of the series of computational videos. We looked at a variety of questions. And of course, if I find any other computational questions, I will definitely create a video with them. But this has brought me to the end of this series. And now I'll be moving on to the next topic. So until then, I'll see you in the next topic. Take care.